Hello and welcome to this video where we will explore the lore of the Dark Angels Legion, one of the most mysterious and secretive factions in Warhammer 40k. In this video, we will look at some AI-generated images of the Dark Angels using Midjourney, a tool that can create realistic and artistic images based on text descriptions. We will see how the Dark Angels look in different settings and styles, and we will learn more about their lore and secrets along the way. If you want to support the channel, drop a like and consider subscribing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy. The Dark Angels were the first legion of the 20 original Space Marine legions. Their Primarch is Lion L. Johnson. After remaining loyal to the Emperor during the Horus Heresy, this legion was later reorganized and divided into several chapters during the second founding. One of these chapters would keep the original legion's name and assets, though all of the Dark Angels' descendants continue to work together to hunt the fallen as the unforgiven. Now let's dig a little bit deeper in their lore. The Dark Angels are the first Space Marine Legion created by the Emperor of Mankind from the gene seed of Lion L. Johnson. Their origins are mysterious and secret, and their early members were diverse and recruited from across Terra. They adopted new names from ancient legends and became powerful warriors. They were the first Space Marines to fight in the Unification Wars, where they earned the name of the Uncrowned Princes. They were organized into hosts that were flexible and specialized, and they developed the tactics and doctrines for the Legion's Astartes. Some of the hosts were disbanded or destroyed, but the Dark Angels remained a superior and distinct legion. The First Legion was the largest and most powerful Astartes force during the Unification Wars, and they fought alongside the Emperor in many battles against formidable enemies. They used the most ancient and forbidden weapons from the Emperor's vaults, and they exterminated their foes completely. They gained a reputation of fear and awe among their allies and enemies. And they adopted the symbol and name of the Angels of Death. They were proud of their role as the Emperor's left hand, and they isolated themselves from other legions. The First Legion was the first to explore and secure the Sol system and its outskirts, where they found and rescued some human survivors. They developed a secretive and ritualistic culture and changed their armor color to black. They received a gift of ancient warships from the Emperor and joined the Great Crusade across the galaxy. They fought against the most horrific enemies and used the most dangerous weapons, but many of their campaigns were classified and unknown to others. They did not care about glory or recognition, but only about their duty as exterminators. They were a formidable weapon, and its legion master was the Emperor's left hand. This role continued even after other Primarchs were found, and the Legion Master was very influential. However, the Legion became complacent and proud, and they stopped learning and adapting. They isolated themselves from other sources of recruitment and knowledge, and they valued their own traditions and secrets. The Legion lost its prestige and confidence when it faced a terrible defeat by an alien enemy and lost its Grand Master. The then called Angels of Death were in chaos and conflict after their defeat at Canis Baylor. They could not agree on a new Grandmaster, and Malkador had to appoint one for them. The new Grandmaster tried to reform and restore the Legion, but he died in another defeat by the Rangda. The Legion was criticized by Guilliman and split into smaller units that fought recklessly and desperately for glory. They won some battles, but they lost many lives and respect. They became known as Grim Death Seekers who fought alone and without hope. The First Legion found their Primarch Lion L. Johnson on Caliban, and he challenged and defeated one of their captains in a duel. He renamed the Legion the Dark Angels and combined the teachings of Caliban with the Hexagrammaton. He then went on a crusade to gather and test his scattered sons. And he proved his worth by his actions and skill. He reunited the Legion at Gramarye, where he dueled and won against the Council Champion and became the Grand Master of the Legion and the Six Wings. He reorganized the Legion with new masters and recruits from Caliban, and he led them to a victory on Carcassonne, where they redeemed their earlier defeat and helped the Ultramarines. The now called Dark Angels made Caliban their homeworld and recruited the Knights of the Order as their warriors. The Lion sent Luther and some Dark Angels back to Caliban to train and guard the world, but Luther felt disgraced and jealous of the Lion's fame. The Lion and Luther had a conflict over a crusade against the Sarosh, and Luther disobeyed the Lion's orders. Luther and his forces were corrupted by chaos and rebelled against the Lion. The Dark Angels were protected from the warrior lodges by their internal orders and sections. The Dark Angels were a large and loyal legion, but they were far from the main events of the Horus Heresy. They fought against the traitors on Tiamat and Thramas, but they were delayed by the Ruin Storm. They followed the Pharos to Ultramar and joined the Imperium Secundus. They enforced martial law on Makridge and hunted Conrad Kurz and Kala Typhon. They also helped the Space Wolves against the Alpha Legion at Alaxes. Ultimately, after a number of disasters, clashes between Guilliman, Sanguinius, and Lion L. Johnson, and a vision by Sanguinius that the Emperor was alive, Imperium Secundus was abolished. The three Primarchas led their legions in an attempt to breach the Ruinstoarem and reach Terra. Through an arduous journey, they eventually reached Davin, the nexus of the Ruin Storm, and engaged a vast demonic host. After the battle and the destruction of Davin, a way to Terra through the Ruinstoarem was clear. However, in their way stood many enemy blockades as Horus had foreseen this route. The Dark Angels destroyed several traitor homeworlds such as Chemos, Nuceria, and Barbarous. Meanwhile, Corswain's fleet of Dark Angels was able to reach Terra and aid the Loyalists, rendezvousing with Admiral Nura Sukassan and using the Imperator Somnium to break the traitor blockade of Terra. Corswain and his 10,000 Dark Angels were able to land upon the throne world's surface and recapture the Astronomicon. Lion L. Johnson was stricken with grief over the fact that he had not been able to protect the Emperor against Horus. After the heresy, the Dark Angels helped restore order to the Imperium. However, during this time, the Dark Angels who had been left behind on Caliban became agitated at being forced to essentially babysit a backwater planet. This led to the leader of the garrison, Luther, turning to the gods of chaos, who had just been defeated with the death of their champion Horus during the heresy. The Dark Angels came back to Caliban after the Horus Heresy, but they were attacked by their own brothers who had turned to chaos. They fought a civil war on their homeworld, where the lion wounded Luther and Luther wounded the lion. The planet was destroyed by a warp rift and the traitors escaped. The Dark Angels kept this a secret and hid the lion and Luther in their fortress monastery, the Rock. They searched for the traitors known as the Fallen across the galaxy. The Dark Angels and their successor chapters are collectively known as the Unforgiven and generally maintain close links with each other. The chapter masters of each chapter belong to the Inner Circle and also carry the honorific of Grand Master of the Inner Circle. The Dark Angels chapter master is also the Inner Circle supreme leader, and every member of the circle answer to him when it comes to the hunt for the fallen. Dark Angel successor chapters, much like themselves, will abandon everything for the hunt of the fallen. It's known that the Dark Angels Legion sired at least 3 second founding chapters, although several others are also thought to hail from this founding. As the first Space Marine Legion, Dark Angels gene seed is among the purest and least degraded. Remarkably, Dark Angels apothecaries have observed that gene seed carried by Primaris Space Marines is universally of the highest quality they have ever seen, and so the chapter's stock is qualitatively and quantitatively in excellent health. There are no known aberrations in the Dark Angels gene seed, which makes the historic reluctance of the High Lords of Terra to use it in new foundings perplexing. The Dark Angels have a monastic and secretive culture, with many levels of knowledge and rituals. They hide the truth about their past from most of their members. They are wary of the Primaris Space Marines, but they have allowed some of them to join their elite Death Wing after passing trials and tests. The Dark Angels recruit from many primitive worlds that they protect. They screen their recruits and erase their pasts. They used to recruit from one planet, but they changed after a Genestealer invasion. They also adopted white armor for their Death Wing in memory of a heroic battle. In most recent times the Lion woke up in Mirror Caliban, a mysterious realm that resembled his old homeworld but was connected to other planets. He had lost his memories, but he regained them when he met a loyal fallen angel named Zabriel. He formed a warband of Risen, who were fallen angels who repented and joined him. He fought against chaos forces led by Seraphax, who wanted to use his body to kill the Emperor. He found a sword called Fealty and a shield called the Emperor's Shield in Mirror Caliban, which helped him defeat his enemies. He met Dante, the leader of the Blood Angels, who told him that Guilliman, his brother Primarch, was alive and leading the Imperium. This was all for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing these AI-generated images of the Dark Angels and learning more about their history and culture. If you liked this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and may the Emperor protect you.